Okay, chat. The card selections in here were not made by me. This is a dirty, filthy net deck off the internet. Remember, chat, you wouldn't download a card, don't download a deck. Net decking is stealing. So I stole this deck from one of the SCG events. I think it went 6-2 in the 5K. Maybe, I don't remember. I looked at a lot of deck lists over the weekend. It's like green-red stuff with some removal spells in here from the Black Splash, and then some discard spells here, which is an interesting slant. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. You know what they say, chat? When in doubt, jund them out. Nobody actually says that. I say it all the time. Are you telling me I'm a nobody? They vomit their hand out here. This might just be a turn 3 Culling Ritual into Briarbridge Tracker. Man, if they play 3/1 drops, I could Culling Ritual into Storm the Festival. Please play 3/1 drops, opponent. It's all I want for Christmas. All I want for Christmas is a turn 3 festival, a turn 3 festival, a turn 3 festival. Do 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 do. No, the Bant party deck was really good. That's why we're still playing it. Okay, so I play this, I make a mana, and then we do this, and it makes 5 mana, and then I Storm the Festival? Was this a good turn? If so, why? Please explain. If you could make sure to write a short paragraph with it, I'd appreciate it. Just your average turn 4. Well, you see, chat, if you just draw your Culling Ritual when you need it, you won't need more than one. To people that are commenting there's only one Culling Ritual, I would propose to you instead just draw it when it's good. That is probably a Storm the Festival's out matchup, right? Maybe we'll leave in the cheeky one of. We drew the one Culling Ritual when it was good. We'll draw the one Storm the Festival when it's great. All right, I'm in. I'm in, chat. In it to win it. Well, did you get charged for both of them, MTGO? I don't think I bought the Mastery Pass yet, so I have pretty limited orbs. Somebody please think of the orbs. I hope they sort the PS5 stock issues sometime soon, though. I'd really like to buy a second one so Christy and the kids can play some of the games I've gotten that are good for it. It's inconvenient to have them play in my office. King Coma Andrew, thanks for the 10 months. Gives us a Wrenn and Seven next turn. It's hard for me personally to complain too much, though. I got my PS5 on release day for retail, so... Yeah, Unite's a lot of fun, Kyle. You can just take this hit, right? Thoughts on Pithing Needle in Standard? I don't, like, what problem does it solve? Any? Like, it's not, I guess it's, like, okay against these green decks. Do I want to trade 2 for 2 on this board? I think I might, actually. No, there's a microchip shortage in general, Dr. Phil. Okay, so we're not casting Wrenn and Seven anytime soon. These spells seem a lot more reasonable at these mana costs, chat. No, we didn't put the microchips in the vaccines. We put them in the horse glue, the horse paste. We were two steps ahead on that one. So I have exactly 3 damage I could deal with this. So we'll kill Redain and hope that I can cast Wrenn and Seven next turn. Okay, if they have a way to kill our token, we're basically dead, but if they don't have a way to kill our token, we're in an okay spot.
Do not underestimate the forest because of its beauty.
Marzamek, thanks for the follow. King Koma Andrew, I think I missed your resub. Thanks for the 10 months. This attack seems loose. I guess it makes me sack here. But, like, at the very least, the Skyclave Apparition giving us a 4/4 here doesn't seem great. If this hits an untapped land, I can Stormseeker the Chariot. Oh god, this is gross. Ah, yum 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 yum. Ah, nom, 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 nom. Razor Claw is a playable item when Magus. Tongsby, if I left the Redain in play, I wouldn't have been able to cast my spells that were in exile. So I killed the Redain so I could cast the Wrenn and Seven, because the Tree Folk took over that game. There's hundreds of fully built cars sitting in lots without chips to make them run. That's wild. I feel like this is something that's just a gut feeling, so tell me if there's real world data to make this not be true. Do we produce too many cars? Is there a shortage of vehicles? Like, do we need the volume of new cars that they put out? I feel like a lot of that has to be waste, right? I heard about the rental car shortage, but that was because those places sold their rentals during COVID, right? Because they weren't renting them out. My understanding was the shortage of rentals cars because they made a conscious decision to like make a short-term profit. Is that not the case? That's a good way to put it, Edmain. There's kind of a shortage of cars like there's a shortage of houses. There's plenty of them technically, but capitalism dictates the scarcity. Yeah.
I will not let my path to predators.
They took my lady, chat. They took my lady. Sure, my understanding was because of COVID, they sold more than usual, Sella, to make up for the fact that they weren't Make up for the fact that they weren't renting nearly as many. It's an interesting stat, Valari. Where does that stat come from? The current average age of cards on the road is 12 years. Is that something like the U.S. tracks nationally? From motor vehicle registration? Alright, well now we get to GM Storm the Festival, right? Yikes! I am not lucky enough to cast this card, champ. Yeah, Christy and I are pretty fortunate in that regard. We have two relatively new vehicles. What was it? We have a 2015 and a 2019, I think, if I recall. Somewhere around there. It does at least ramp you into its own flashback, yeah. Hey, sports car guy. No, I have 3 kids. We have a Nissan Rogue and a Nissan Pathfinder. This stream isn't sponsored or endorsed by Nissan, but Nissan, if you're out there, it certainly could be. Let's talk. We have a van and another van. No, I like my SUVs. Not a minivan kind of guy. What was it? We bought the Rogue because they had 0% financing on it, and then we had it for 5 years, and it ran well and was fine. Never had any issues. Service people are always reasonable. I don't know. I'm not really a car guy in general, so like if it's functional and runs fine for me, that's good enough. Was it the car before we have the 2 SUVs that we have? My wife had it's like a 2006 or 2007 Ford Focus, and that was easily the worst small car I'd ever driven. It was awful. She bought it like a year and a half before we started dating, and just the worst. It had remote start and most features you'd expect, but it didn't have cruise control. Actually, just the stone cold fucking worst. Fix on road daily. We always said found on road dead. No, yeah, no cruise control. Yeah, it was just actually the worst. And I wish this was a lie when I tell you this, but we drove that Ford Focus without cruise control to New Jersey and back twice. And for reference, that's a 14-hour drive one way. we're dead, right? Like, they have infinite cards in hand and flashback spells and my spell. You've never in your life used cruise control. How many hours have you spent doing highway driving? Would be my question to you after you say you've never used cruise control before. How much highway driving have you done in your life? You just set the cruise control to 70 because that's the speed limit, and you never set your cruise control above the speed limit check because that's illegal. And you just go. I was so happy when they upgraded all of the speed limits in Illinois to 70. It was a good day. It was a good day. All right, we're going to bring in a bunch of discard spells. I'm going to bring in some extra bomb diggity to the top end, leaving a couple of Soul Shatters, because I think they could be a Goldspan deck at a minimum. They probably have, the egg, which I wouldn't mind getting rid of. Yeah, bring in the Snakeskin Veil and actually get rid of this Shatter. Michigan upped it to 75. Gosh. I remember driving 55 on Michigan highways and feeling like my car was gonna fall apart. I think Michigan is easily the worst maintained interstate system that I've driven on in the Midwest. It's real bad. Wisconsin would like a word. I haven't driven too deep into Wisconsin. I've been to, listen, I don't know, for those of you that are saying other states, have you driven through Michigan? It's like, I've spent a good bit of time driving in Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Wisconsin. And like, it's Michigan is easily the worst of all of those. I've driven through Atlanta several times too. And it's actually like Michigan is worse than all of those. In my opinion. Yeah, chat, in a former life when I was an SCG grinder, we drove everywhere. My current place of residence is 2.5 hours from St. Louis, Chicago, and Indianapolis, but our drive range for Magic tournaments was like 8 hours. We drove real far. Indiana roads actually weren't that terrible on average, unless it was snowing. I'm convinced that Indiana doesn't own snowplows. As someone who's driven from the Ohio state line to the Illinois state line while it was snowing in Indiana too many times to count, I'm pretty sure they don't own snowplows. I know they can't cast it, but I'm going to take their 2-for-1 here. I'm just going to hit them in the card advantage. And then I'm pretty sure I want this treasure to flash this back. This is just going to run into a stroke anyways, so I'm just going to pass here. I guess this could just run into a Soul Shatter too. We own snowplows, we just don't use them. Sounds right. I'm actually kind of surprised they stroked that when they have the clean answer with Soul Shatter in hand. Cause like if I draw like a Storm the Festival now or something else that like doesn't die to this like a Wrenn and Seven, they end up in a little bit of trouble here. Well, to be fair, part of the reason they probably don't plow is expenses. I can't imagine running a bunch of plows is cheap. We knew their whole hand when they cast that Stroke 2 Mo's. They didn't have this unknown card. They just drew that. I mean, every land is one step closer to flashback, right? Or two mana Office Storm the festival here. Hey, one more. BT dubs for the regulars. Since we're at the end of deck submissions for the most part, they've slowed down a good bit. When we hit a deck like this that seems relatively reasonable, I plan to play them for a little bit longer time period. So probably expect to see 90 minutes to 2-hour deck sessions as opposed to, oh, I can scry with this, good call, as opposed to the 60 to 90 that I usually do. Well, that's unlucky. Anything insightful in my deck, opponent? A jump blocker is kind of insightful. I didn't have mana to scry that time. It cost more, right? Did I have mana? I might have had mana to scry. Listen, chat. It was fine. It was fine. The perfect card was already on top of my deck. Everybody calm down. Hey, thanks for the over 2 years, Luna. Welcome back. I'm happy with how we boarded. Let's just run it back. Run it back. Run it back now, y'all. Solidly junded them out there. Yeah, maybe 2 Mo's. The party deck was really good. That's why we're still playing it. Took my land, shit. party deck partied too hard. Listen, the party deck was so bad it's making Jund feel playable. No one showed up and the music was awful. Yeah, I'm trying to wait on this go blank timing until we can hit a point where we get they can't flash back their spell in response to, so we kind of get a 3-for-1. Lord Donkey Punch. Thanks for the prime. Good morning. Making Grixis playable by allowing it to play with our cards is really strong. We trade one of these for a Wrenn. Just gonna fire this up and get in here. It's aggressive. What's going on, Crazy D? Alright, we need a Wrenn and Seven here. Discard spells aren't even that good here. Desert Doom. This draws them up to 3 when it hits us. Yeah, it's an interesting thought, Salamel, if I would have put both triggers on the same token. Died to Grixis. Grixis is supposed to make our decks feel playable, chat. It's supposed to be the thing that makes us feel good about ourselves. The deck deletion test. Seems pretty good. We're on the play, so I'm gonna bottom the power word kill here. Keep the 2-drop, 3-drop curve. He actually lost to Wrenn and Seven. Grixis shouldn't get all the credit. That's fair. That's fair. We technically lost to our deck, not to Grixis.
Do not cling to the trees. They prepare for war.
All right, chat, we take those. We're in platinum. We'd like to get to mythic, you know. I think they forgot this was transforming and just like assumed they could kill it on my turn, but then it turned into a 3/4 on them. I'm gonna assume my opponent's playing a rampy control deck and board accordingly. I don't actually have a preform group for the stream today, Socio. So if other people that are masters wanna poke in and out for some event, I'd be down for that. Bread Boxer Bren, someone we 5-sec with the evenings, they're gonna be playing with us this afternoon. But I don't have anyone other than her. Oh, that's nice. That lets me Stormseeker plus Duress here. And actually, this can give us information to let us know if we want to, let us know if we want to Soul Shatter their mana dork or not. Oh, I clicked the wrong color thing. Well, no longer an option. Meant to make black mana there. My body is ready into it for Epiphany in Tacoma. think I just make a token here on defense. If they want to slam their board in and trade a 3-4 for my leftover Wrenn, I think that's fine with me. It's a good exchange. It's not that Machamp is difficult to play, it's just it's not very good. His overall kit's not great. He's very weak in lane early. Is probably his biggest issue. And there's just better junglers than him, so you can't justify putting him in the jungle. Sylveon releases tomorrow at 5 p.m. PST. What's going on, Andy? You can set a reminder for yourself, or you can tap the follow button and turn on notifications on Twitch. I'm here every day at basically the same time. I'm very consistent. 8 a.m. Central, bright and early. I think if you want to play a support in solo queues, Eldegoss is much better than Blissey. It's a range character, and Leaf Tornado lets you actually have a chance to like snipe objectives, especially with its Unite. I think Blissey's pretty reasonable in a lot of five stack comps, or maybe even like 2 to 3. Yeah, Unite released on mobile a week or two ago. Yikes. It plays pretty well. I've actually been, since it came out on mobile, we've been playing, Christy and I have been playing with the boys. It's been a lot of fun. All right. One good top deck deserves another, I suppose. They're empty-handed, so no reason to do this. If you don't do Twitch notifications too, you're one of my wonderful subs. I tag people. There's groups in the Discord server that I tag when I go live with different things too. I'm going to trade this rather than letting the elemental die. Feels like they drew a deal 3 here. I guess the deal 3 just kills the Wrenn and Seven now though. So the 22 months Demolisher.
Has become unbearable.
Hang on to this for now. You have 3 copies of Storm the Festival that might want a bunch of mana down the line.
Must never be unleashed on another forest.
Ramp deck drew a bunch of lands and died. So the upside of Go Blank is not getting tagged by Disdainful Stroke is real, and being able to exile memory deluges from their graveyard is a big deal. If you make them discard 2 and you also exile a memory deluge, it's like a discard 4. So I agree that the Mind Rod is less good against a ramp deck like that one, but against the more controlling decks, it's pretty good. Cassius, thank you for the 2 years. Welcome back. Nah, I think more common format management's a good thing, Andy. Honestly, I think if Wizards was smart, they would announce that moving forward, Standard is going to be a primarily digital-only format, and they're going to ban and unban more aggressively because of this, because Magic Arena doesn't have a secondary market feature to it. For a long time, it struggled to be popular in paper anyways, and they've always used kind of the paper price tags and people's investments and other stuff like that as a justification for, like, not managing the format more aggressively. That's also true too. What Ranger said, they already did that with Historic and they still don't manage it as a format, so maybe it's irrelevant anyways. That's a good point. Doomscar. Okay. So we got some Jeskai here. It's a good one to know about. You know what's funny? When I looked at our deck during the deck tech, I was wondering why we weren't playing 4 Burning Hands, and it turns out there was just 1 copy of Burning Hands in the main deck. Just the biggest brain configuration. I don't think that's true, Dr. Phil. Paper Magic has always been a large revenue driver, and I don't think Paper Magic in general is ever going anywhere. But I do think Wizards is going to change to embracing the more casual side of Magic more and push the competitive side of Magic to be more digital. Things like EDH and kitchen table Magic have always been the large revenue drivers for Magic the Gathering. And especially with all like the secret layer and collector stuff they're doing, they're more profitable than ever on that end. So I'd be very surprised if that stopped being the case. Yeah, they're as a collectible, they're doing very well. I think the profit margins on paper are better than digital. That would really surprise me. I would be incredibly surprised to hear that that was the case. Chat, past paying their developers under market rates to program Magic Arena, the only other costs that go into digital Magic is food to feed the hamsters that power the servers. So like, costs overall are fairly low. Would I say what even before COVID? That casual Magic was the main moneymaker of Magic the Gathering? Yeah, definitely. You sure they underpay the hamsters as well? Speaking of underpaying people, my older son Jacob has been watching Pokemon card videos on YouTube, and he's been asking to like get a few specific singles he's seen in videos that he wants to collect. So we started giving him some tasks so he could earn small amounts of money to save up to buy some of these singles. And Christy was doing some stuff upstairs, pushing stuff around in her office, and we asked Jacob, okay, Jacob, if you're going to help mom for 1 hour, how much money do you think you should get for an entire hour? And he started at $50 for the hour. We might have talked him down. Jacob could definitely use a better union rep, okay? The negotiations didn't really go his way. He did get to keep his benefits. The benefits package for his job is really good. Scry top or bottom? Hold on, let me check the game log real quick. Man, double up expressive iteration is real good. And then we ended up bargaining with him. He got an entire Galarian Articuno, full art, for helping mom for about half an hour. So he was happy with his exchange at the end of the day. I don't have enough experience to know if Cinderclasm is good against these decks or not. Arlinn's great to slip in here. No, yeah, kids love Pokemon cards, man. BT Dubs, shout out to the Pokemon Company for sending me some packs of Pokemon cards and Pokemon toys for the kids. They're great. Always nice to work with a company and promote the games of a company that works with people that support them. You know, for the kids. Listen, the kids do really like the cards. I might enjoy the toys more than they do. Yeah, I 100% plan to play the new client. In fact, the reason why the Pokemon Company sent me some stuff for the kids was because I told them I was interested in streaming on their new client. And they're supposed to have some amount of pack codes and stuff for me when it comes out. The new client's supposed to be out before the end of the year. They don't have a firm release date yet. Yeah, we're gonna mix in some Pokemon TCG in my afternoon stuff once the new client hits, for sure. I kind of hope the new Pokemon client makes their TCG take off a little bit on Twitch. I've actually played a bunch of Pokemon TCG. It just wasn't anywhere near popular enough on Twitch for me to be able to justify doing regular content for. Their current client is not particularly popular. Are you dead? Or did you draw a thing? Hey, they'd spin their tires for a turn. Gonna go over the basic rules. Probably not the bare bone basics. Tolarian Community College has a how to play video. No, this is not an activated this deck, maybe for a couple here and there. Alright, so they're dead. I believe they have died. It was nice of them to brick afterwards. Our Jund deck seems pretty okay, chat. Our Jund deck seems pretty okay. How much is one Jund on Arena these days? $1 million. It was hard to see at first, but now I Junderstand. We've achieved a Junderstanding. That's a storm brewing, chat. Yeah, I think this archetype's pretty reasonable. Spacebar shit. It's playing a bunch of good cards. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how Unite content does long-term, Gengar. So far, the Unite content I've been doing is like as good or more popular than like when I dipped into other things like Runeterra, so I'm optimistic that could be something I could do a little bit longer term. Game's a lot of fun. Our hand is super good here. We've already got the Storm Charge Slasher in place, so let's get going here. We got an unsummon. Fading Hope is so good, chat. I mean, to be honest with you about Runeterra, I would be surprised. Like, I know a lot of my audience is like me and doesn't like combo decks in best of one like that, but I actually think Runeterra is probably smart having their game be full of combos because it seems to be the type of thing that lots of people really like. I don't even know that they're strictly wrong for like balancing their game the way they've balanced it. I'd imagine like it seems like they're more successful than they've been. It's not a game that's for me. Which is fine. Looked at Eternal card game. Eternal card game is like playing Fisher Price Magic. They're actually doing really well, Limpton. They've been consistently very reasonable for me. Eternal card game is like if someone asked themselves, how do we make Magic play optimally on a cell phone? And they did a really good job at achieving that, but it's just like not what I'm looking for in a card game. It's like close enough to Magic that I'd rather just play Magic. Like Runeterra, Pokemon, Mythgard, those other types of games like have a lot of unique things going in them. And Eternal's just too close to Magic that I'd rather just play Magic. I think we just double spell here, right? Yeah, honestly, Arena on mobile works better than I ever expected Magic on mobile to work. There are still some small subset of board states that just like don't work well and they're never going to, but I think the Arena team and the people they've worked with actually did an incredible job getting Magic onto a screen that size to the best you can do. Like, Magic's just not a game that was designed with that in mind, and like a lot of those other games are like Hearthstone, Runeterra, Mythgard, those were all games that someone said, hey, we want this to play well on a cell phone, how do we do it? All right, I should just storm the festival here, right? I think, maybe. Is that better than getting the guaranteed threat into play? I don't know. Let's gamble. See chat, easy game. Actually, do I do this? I think I want to save it to. I think I want to save these to Flashback Storm, right? Am I dead? Divide by 0, full countering our flashback is rough. Anything out here? Oh, they can flash that back. Yikes. Feels like we're getting buried here. This is the part where they take 2 turns, right? And then we die. Zero Sin, thanks for the 31 months. Welcome back. I think it's very difficult for a card like Chariot to be inherently super unfair. What absolute dog shit gameplay. Just incredibly rancid. For people that weren't following along closely there, we conceded because our opponent was about to get 6 birds and take 3 extra turns. Couple 2-3. Yeah, even counterspells aren't very good against this opponent's archetype. Hey, thanks for the Prime, Bubbick. I appreciate you dropping off the support. Wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you. Happy Monday. And see, like, even here, right? Like, it's not like we played a good game of Magic when I won either, right? Just like, my opponent's deck just didn't do anything, and I had a kind of aggressive start, and they died, and they didn't do anything. It's just like, that, in my opinion, is the #1 sign that there's a fundamental problem with the gameplays being generated. If the game's kind of dry and not fun when I win, it's like, well, why were we here, right? Like this, it's supposed to at least spark joy when I'm winning. I don't think not sparking joy when you lose is necessarily invalidating, because like lots of people just hate losing. But like when I walk away from a game having won and feel like that was kind of whatever, it's like, all right. So, Part the Water Vale cost 9 mana to make a creature with, and Part the Water Vale didn't have Foretell. So Part the Water Vale cost 33% more mana than 6 mana, and you could hit it with a discard spell before they got to 9 mana. Remember, in Magic the Gathering, because you need lands and spells, every mana that you need to play a card on curve is exponentially more. The difference between 6 and 7 is much bigger than the difference between 5 and 6 or 3 and 4, etc. Do I crack this to draw in response? Yeah, probably. It's actually not a terrible draw, because it'll let us Duress before we Wrenn and Seven next turn. This turn, we're definitely getting while the getting is good and playing Storm the Festival, though. So even if they have another sweeper here, we get to go Duress into Wrenn and Seven, Tree Folk, Esika's Chariot, copy the Tree Folk. You know, assuming we get another turn here. There's a chance we get no more turns and we die here. Yikes, Bob. Just like multiple servers turns out? God, that's crazy. DNS errors. That would make sense why so much. 'Cause I imagine they have a lot of redundancy when it comes to server stuff. Really good example of why discard spells are pretty bad here, right? Just like all of these cards are like literally the same thing.
I will protect these transformers as if the entire forest is an army.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Bob. Really surprised they didn't double kill the Chariot before I attacked to deny the Tree Folk. I guess they're gonna like spend a 3 here. I bet their plan is kill the Chariot and then rummage. Well, I guess that doesn't... Actually, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just ignore my board and rummage looking for a Time Walk. Are they dead?
Rich soil grows mighty forests.
All right. We got a little bit lucky, and our opponent didn't have their epiphany to kill us, so that's nice. If they'd have had their third epiphany there, they would have epiphany popped off with 2 more turns and 4 more birds, and we would have gotten attacked down. But, you know, hashtag sometimes lucky. Yeah, I mean when their deck is functional, I don't think you can do anything about it. You basically just gotta. It's a lot like Nexus of Fate, right? You just gotta like kind of hope their deck doesn't work, or you gotta kill them before they get online. Yeah, a good opponent, if they know Test of Talents is there, is just gonna foretell stuff, so Test of Talents doesn't do anything. I think putting Strixhaven Stadium in your deck sounds like putting a bad card in. Honestly, Teferi too. Just don't play bad cards. Put more good cards in your deck. You'll win more games of Magic. Yeah, I agree, Precipic. The number one thing to remember is that, like, you know, even when there's one clear best winner, the ladder in any of these games, whether it's Magic or Runeterra or Hearthstone, is basically never a good measurement for the competitive health of that game or format. Because most people are just playing ladder matches for fun, right? Don't tell the tryhards, chat, but a majority of people that play games are attempting to have fun while playing those games. Like, filthy fucking casuals. And hey, for some people, winning is the only way they have fun, and that's fine. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. But for a majority of people, winning isn't their primary goal, is reality. You just have nothing here? Big fan of nothing. I also have nothing, go. Alright, one of your finest untapped lands, please, deck. Yikes. Now they untap, and they play Black Source, and they Meathook Massacre me. It's all downhill from here, chat. Okay. So, you're dead? So you're dead? It is like one 2020 anecdotal objective opinion. I love the metagame usernames that Hoaglandia has developed. We have quite the assortment of metagame usernames, and they're great. Fire and Fury, thank you for the over 2 years. Welcome back. Are we sideboarding here? Or just like Sultai turns? Do I want, is this a Burning Hands matchup? It feels like a discard spell matchup. It feels like a Storm matchup. I just want a couple of pieces of spot removal for our last couple of cards here. They probably have some like mana dorks and stuff too, right? I've been trying to regrow grass in parts of my backyard that got destroyed while we were getting the patio installed. And having a bunch of rain over the weekend was great because I didn't have to manually water the grass. I hate watering grass, chat. It feels like such a waste. The dirt erodes a lot worse if you don't have grass on it though, so I just want like something to come up there. It is a waste. Normally, during the normal times, I don't water my lawn. I don't care what color the grass is. I think we just take the Wrenn here, right? And just try and grind out the rest of this with stuff like Go Blank. Moss yards. I feel like putting a bunch of moss in my backyard would not be popular with my neighbors. Asinine Frankenstein, thanks for the 27 months. Welcome back. We don't have an HOA where I live. But there was talk of the field behind my house being sold to put apartment buildings behind us, and one of my neighbors was walking around with a petition trying to get that stopped because they're assholes. Just to give you context on some of the neighbors in my area. Actually, I actually count myself very fortunate that, like, my neighbors on the immediate side of me on each side are both great people. I made a point to have casual conversations about both masks and vaccines with both of them at various points when they were outside, and they both fell on the decent side of those topics. And for anybody that's new to the channel, thanks for the follow, Fozzie Beard. Do your part. Let's end this pandemic. Get vaccinated. So just so my position's clear for anybody that's new. Anybody that leaves the channel because I suggest you should get vaccinated, they're not someone we're gonna miss, chat. We'll be happy if those people fuck on off into the rest of the world. Why is it a bad thing if they don't want apartments behind the building? Because the reason why they don't want apartments put up behind us is because they're worried their property values are going to go down if more affordable housing is relatively adjacent to their homes. Because they're selfish people that don't want to help other people. Alright, well, we have enough cats to attack that at least.
Destroy the gifts nature grows.
I think we're chilling on the Cadillac for now, because we could hopefully find a Wrenn. We're definitely going to send 2 of these here, though.
Our leaves fall like tears.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. They're casting all the runes epiphany again. They flipped me 2 blue birds. Do 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 do. Am I scrying during my upkeep? If I scry during my upkeep, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So I can only cast a 4-drop. So I think I don't scry during my upkeep because I want to be able to cast a Wrenn if I draw one. Sedge. It's actually worse than a land. Maybe I should stop boarding. I think I'm going to stop boarding these in against non-blue-red. They've been really mediocre against the non-blue-red decks. Lair be decent in this deck. You need basics in your deck so you don't get destroyed by things like Field of Ruin.
The will of the woods is made
Okay,
manifest.
so we'll throw away this Esika's Chariot to get another 9/9. It's for the follow Draco, or for the sub Draco. Really appreciate the support. Okay, got us a couple of 9/9s. We're technically still ahead here. Come on, hopefully this flips over a Storm the Fest. That had to have been a misclick, right? But it's really hard to misclick that. Right? Because they have to like click on me or my Planeswalker to attack.
Power grows.
I think we just pass here. I think we just chill, because I've got 3 Storm the Festivals in my deck, so like this Wren's gonna draw us a Storm at some point, then we'll really pull ahead. I don't think there's any reason to get aggressive and like accidentally die to their board. I mean, we're beating Epiphany decks. This deck's an interesting mix. The red feels like it gives us enough aggression to have a shot in these matchups. Well, thanks for keeping me around doing what I do, Draco. Beating Epiphany decks is a great way to tell them to flock off. Alright, the sand needs some land, but if it finds a land or two, it's in a really, really good spot. With this draw and the fact that I probably only want to play a 3-drop next turn anyways, I think I play this out, because this way if I brick on a land, I can Briarbridge Tracker. And then the clue gives us an extra draw the following turn. Do I just pass? Actually, I'm gonna Lotus Cobra. So that way, I think I Lotus Cobra, so that way if we do this, we can Wrenn and Seven after. They're marked by YouTube videos as containing paid promotion. I do not. I don't do like explicit call outs for things super consistently. When I do explicit call outs, things I mention that they're sponsored or whatever. Or like if like I do a game sponsored thing, I put sponsored in the title. I guess I do this because it threatens to trade with Chariot. And if we draw a land, we can still Culling next turn. Thanks for the 9 months, Urquan. You mark your YouTube videos as paid actors. Only when I pay the actors. Hey, if we hit an untapped land next turn, we are still in this game thanks to Culling Ritual. We're actually ahead if we hit the untapped land, I think. Maybe we can brick for one more turn here. How many lands are in this deck, by the way? There's 25 plus spell lands. We're on 26 lands. Yikes.
Every seed contains great potential.
Yeah, that'll do it. Assuming our opponent doesn't have a giant misclick here. Do they have another Spellbinder? Am I being punked? Shit. Come on, dealer, let me punish one time. Second Cobra means it didn't have to be untapped. Wait, is that 10? Am I getting 10 mana here? Is that real? Is that I'm getting 5 of each? If I want? Alright.
Go peer into the trees. They prepare for war.
Oh, it's just a little baby tree folk! Who's a little baby tree folk? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Look at the small boy. He's so tiny. Oh, no. He's a little baby Groot. We have the moral victory there because we got to cast our thing at least, but yikes. All right, Goldspan Dragon, huh? Goldspan Dragon. I think this is a Storm the Festival. I have faith we're going to draw lands this game, champ. Doran, thank you for the 27 months. Welcome back. This is probably a Meathook game. I don't think this is a Shadows Verdict game because they're on like Chariots and Dragons and stuff that go bigger. Maybe it is. If I'm going bigger here, do I like cut the Stormseekers? That might seem reasonable. Like board another Burning Hands, just like try and be the control deck. Yeah, let's try this. Clicks. I don't know that sounds particularly great. 6 mana is a lot. Like, having your 6-drop get outclassed in terms of sizing by, like, their 3-drop sounds a little rough. And, like, the blue-red deck's not playing Planeswalkers. There actually aren't that many Planeswalkers in this format, right? I guess it's, like, Wrenn and Seven is the Planeswalker. Yeah, the Wrenn just happens before you're getting to your Vorn clicks, right? Man, they really like elite spellbindering my Briarbridge Tracker chip. I guess I should attack here first, technically. Sweet. They traded, so it didn't matter. No harm, no foul. Lilith can't gain loyalty to the Vornclicks out. Sure, she just sits there and draws a card every turn, though, still, right? So, like, again, that's, like, fine, but it's still, like, pretty far from good. I wouldn't describe the interactions people are talking about bad, but it's like, this is an interaction that you're like getting with your 7 drop, which is like a lot, or your 6 drop, is like a lot of mana. I think we power word kill this and save the shatter for a Goldspan Dragon. My body was ready to get like Snakeskin Veiled there. I think we just trade this off and keep our health total high while we race. We are uniting today, Rad, if you'd like to play. We're gonna do probably one more match of Magic after this one and then shift on over to Unite for the rest of the stream. I think you would make 4 though. I have 2 others, so I'll need to find I'll need to find a 5th if we wanted everybody to be able to play. So this is the punish for my sequencing here. We, power word kill would have let me kill a tree folk, and now I cannot. Now I cannot. Yeah, I'm supposed to play around Wrenn instead of Goldspan. Nice, nice. And then I think at this point we're soul shattering the Stormseeker, so we're just ahead on board. Yeah. Just gonna go ahead and do this, and then we're winning this race here still. This is a 7-turn clock. We have a 4-turn clock with our chump blocker. Obviously, they could top deck something. We could top deck something. Firmly in the driver's seat until another tree folk shows up. Even then, we have plenty of answers we can draw to that. Sweet Squirt, are you at least like veteran, ultra, or master? So I think we're gonna play some ranked today. I don't really care about my rank too much, and rank tends to generate better actual games, my experience. Alright, well, we're not guessing that one. Sweet. Okay. So I want to change how I'm boarded at all. I don't think so. Is Soul Shatter the removal I want, I guess, is a consideration? Or do I want more Burning Hands? Maybe on the draw, especially with like split this 2-3 in the other direction. Because like killing their 2-drop on 2, like killing a Magda on 2 seems pretty important. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna try a Meathook actually here too. We'll just have 2 sweepers, 1 Meathook, 1 Culling Ritual. Having 8 ways to kill Magda on the draw seems valuable. Yikes. Well, as far as 5-card hands go, all of our colors and some interactions, like, pretty good. A cut above average, I think. We have one of our ways to kill Magda on too, which is what we wanted. Avoid that turn 3 Chariot from happening. I think we'll just Soul Shatter this. They have a removal spell for Tracker. The Chariot's gonna snowball really hard here. If they have a Wrenn, the Chariot's gonna snowball real hard here.
The entire forest is an army.
Like, basically need a Culling Ritual at this point to catch back up. When the draw's like just good enough to make you keep playing, but not quite good enough to win the game, most likely. I guess if their hand is bricks, we like power word kill, burning hands, finish the Wrenn. Then we have an Arlinn left over for the cats. Or take some big chunks of damage in the meantime. If they have anything like a Goldspan here, we're just dead. Basically need them to have no follow-up threats at this point. They have 3 unknowns, so pretty likely to have one. Wow, and they left this back so Wrenn wouldn't die to a Goldspan. And they only had Magda as a threat here, so maybe there's a chance.
The forest will be overrun.
The forest will be overrun. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, lemon on a square. Give me wolves. She's the pack's hope, I swear. Do do. Be do 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 do. Be do 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 do.
I must resist civilization and progress further.
Okay. Wonder if they've got like Thundering Rebuke and stuff here. Nothing yet, huh? Alright, well, untapped green, suddenly a very good draw. Come on, Greenland. Come on. Alright. Hit me, dealer. Hit me, dealer. The dealer, like, punched me in the face when I asked them to hit me. Was their response there, essentially? Oh, you needed to get hit? Just pow. Pow! Right in the kisser. We have a schedule on Wednesday for when I'll be doing MTGA/Unite. Not specifically Koi Cricket. It's gonna depend on how many donation decks we get for Magic. So I wanted to be flexible with the donation incentives. I also have the ability to run longer than just the 8 hours too, so I might do a little bit more than 8 if we have things going. Those are non-lane hit percentage there. We actually have a lot of non-permanent spells in this deck post board, so like we weren't that unlucky to miss there. Ask for a hit, got a kick in the crotch. A mohawk would probably look really funny on the kids' curly hair tops. I'm gonna leave this back on defense. I think we're the bigger deck here. We want to try and stem the bleeding. Get you later, Bubik. So I'll take 3 down to 15 here. I'm going to decline this trade because I want Stormseeker to give the Chariot haste next turn. Even if the kids wanted to do something, though, I don't think I would ever include my children as part of a monetization feature of the stream. I think parents trying to monetize their children is really kind of fucked up. Not a fan. Think of the capitalism. I mean, I'm sure Ryan's parents are very wealthy. The 6 months, rookie. Welcome back. Well, so this isn't really like a dedicated festival deck. I think if we were all in on like getting to festival in 6, that would be one thing, but we're really like aren't all in on festival. Like festival's just like a facet of the deck. It's not like we're not like a festival deck, if that makes sense. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm boarding it out here. Bring in some cheaper removals, some extra sweepers. I mean, the opponent just conceded because the game was over. I don't think that game says anything about the personal preference of my opponent. Yeah, that's exactly what this deck is doing, Drax. It's 2 festivals main with a 3rd in the side for when you want to grind. I actually think cutting Lotus Cobra from this deck would be pretty wrong. I think Lotus Cobra is part of why this deck's probably reasonable. Between Cobra and Reckless Stormseeker, it lets you take aggressive slants against the Epiphany decks to have something of a shot there. Because remember, the best way to beat the Epiphany decks is not interacting with them, it's by running them down. We're really bad at drawing lands, chat. Mr. King, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I really appreciate the support. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. I think we should find out this week if we're getting a historic card release soon. I think we just say no blocks here, so I have the extra body in play to Culling Ritual if we draw the land. We need 27 lands? Nah, I think we're fine. Yeah, just a scotch better variance. It's possible I'm supposed to draw a card there and just take the hit. Crimson Vow's the middle of November, yeah. So halfway in between would be like 2 weeks from now. We're probably dead from here, right? I guess I don't have any black lands. See, I could draw like a way to kill this, but I actually don't have a black land, so yeah, I just should have shown the Culling Ritual. Although, the fact that there's only one Culling Ritual in my deck, kind of, showing it to them is kind of good, because our odds of drawing it again are low. And if we... The odds of drawing it again are low. So they might play around it when we're unlikely to have it, knowing that it's there. Okay. So I'll probably want to sit on this for post Shadow's Verdict. BPHR, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. This is gonna be our last game of Magic for the afternoon. We're gonna be shifted over to some Pokemon Unite after we're done with this one. It's gonna be the schedule all week, Magic for 4 hours or so, and then a few hours of Unite to wrap up. No plays, eh? How many times Wrenn has ulted this channel? I'd honestly be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if the number was like 0.
The entire forest is an army.
They have a Faithful Absence here? No, just nothing again, huh? What is in their hand? Trading for their 4/4 here. It's next Friday game. I haven't decided yet, DJ. I've been playing a ton of Unite off stream. I felt like making time for more of it, so we're gonna do Unite all this week, and then we'll reassess next week what I feel like playing. I kind of can't kill this, huh? Just in kind of a bad spot here.
I have other groves to tend.
Oh, I should be scrying. I keep forgetting this card has text. Alright, we didn't have to draw that land. Persona's like a weird JRPG, right? I don't really do JRPGs outside of Pokemon. I like real-time stuff. So we'd have drawn this last turn, which wouldn't have really been... Yeah, Persona's also infinite hours, is correct. Hey, GG opponent. We're gonna play through. I don't mind long games if they're like action games. We're gonna play through Witcher 3 again when the next gen update comes out for that. Carnivorous Dancers, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Overall, you know, outside of flooding out and dying in that last one, this deck seemed pretty reasonable. The mix of aggressively slanted stuff between Lotus Cobra and Reckless Stormseeker felt like we had enough stuff to pressure the Epiphany and blue-red decks relatively consistently. And then our good interaction here felt like it gave us a chance in the aggressive matchups. One thing that's noteworthy is, again, even though mono green's really good right now, the ladder's still very varied with a lot of people just trying to have a good time. So we actually didn't play against any mono green in over 2 hours playing this deck. So I don't have a baseline for how that matchup even feels on paper. I would guess it's probably hard, but I don't know exactly how I would expect it to play out in practice. Like Shadow's Verdict's very good against mono green, for example, so maybe the sideboard tools do a lot of heavy lifting there. Penumbra, thanks for the year and a half. Welcome back. All right, any rate,